This is French Indochina. It was a colony under the French rule since 1887. Now, let's fast forward to 1945. After Japan's surrender in World War II, they lost French Indochina. But they didn't withdraw their troops from there. Why, you might ask? Well, Japan really liked bullying the Allies, so they stuck there to help the Indochina nationalist groups, or the Indochina Communist Party. After France defeated Japan later, the Vietnamese people didn't really like living in French rule after getting the Japanese to treat them better. What followed was the August Revolution, which was the Vietnamese people rebelling against the Empire of Vietnam, which was under French rule. One very handsome fellow named Ho Chi Minh managed Vietnam, becoming famous. When Vietnam eventually won the war, Vietnam was split on the 16th parallel. North Vietnam on top with communist agendas, and South Vietnam on the bottom with capitalist agendas. Although Vietnam won the war, they were still under French rule, which really bothered Ho Chi Minh. So, as genius as he was, he declared independence from France. This severed relations of Vietnam with other nations, including the USA, who helped North Vietnam rebel. France, of course, didn't like freedom, so they declared war on North Vietnam, the start of the First Indochina War. War began in 1946 with a French bombing spree. After embarrassing defeats, North Vietnam managed to kick France out of the war in 1954, following the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. After the war, North and South Vietnam didn't respect each other. After the war, the border changed from the 16th parallel to the 17th parallel. North Vietnam, wanting to unite Vietnam under communist rule, invaded South Vietnam in 1955. The United States decided to keep supporting South Vietnam, but wouldn't get directly involved. It was until the Gulf of Tonkin incident. The North Vietnamese Navy destroyed US boats supplying South Vietnam. That was the last straw for the United States. They used the Truman Doctrine and the incident to send troops over. It was called a police action to avoid a declaration of war. The United States' allies were a bit skeptical about the whole situation, but wanted better relationships with the US. ANZUS, or Australia, New Zealand, and the United States Treaty, were in a difficult situation, but at the end, Australia and New Zealand helped the US invade to better relations. Many other nations would join to fight against North Vietnam because they were all a part of SEATO and believed in the domino effect. The domino effect was where nations believed that if one nation became communist, every other nation would follow along with it. In the end, 11 nations were involved in the war, including South Vietnam, the USA, ANZAC, South Korea, Thailand, Philippines, Taiwan, Khmer Republic, Laos, North Vietnam, China, Khmer Rouge, Pathet Lao, and the USSR and North Korea. During the beginning of the war, North Vietnamese President Ho Chi Minh, the handsome guy, needed more soldiers to make the perilous journey. He got farmers from the countryside, gave them guns, and called them a Viet Cong, one of the deadliest groups of the war. Ho Chi Minh invaded Laos with his ally Pathet Lao and used the land they had to make a trail called the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which gave the Viet Cong an easy way to enter South Vietnam. The Viet Cong used guerrilla tactics, which, in simpler terms, were hiding behind trees and bushes to ambush the enemy. Using the environment, the Viet Cong was able to innovate and beat up the anti-communist forces. United States citizens rioted after some years. Why did the US enter another person's war? Eventually, riots reached the entire United States. And in Vietnam, the United States and their allies won battles, but costed many lives. In 1973, the United States left the war, costing them 58,220 casualties. After the United States left, almost all the South Vietnamese allied nations also left. In 1975, Saigon, the capital of South Vietnam, was captured. With the surrender of South Vietnam, Vietnam united into one nation. The Vietnam War is one of the most unpopular American wars of all time. In total, there was 970,000 casualties to 3 million if counting the civilians.